Brain. The brain is the control center of the human body. It sits inside the skull, protected by bone and layers of tissue, constantly receiving information and sending signals through the nervous system. Every thought, memory, emotion, and movement begins here. Different areas of the brain handle different jobs. The frontal lobe helps with decision-making and personality, while the occipital lobe processes what the eyes see. Even during sleep, the brain remains active, regulating breathing, dreams, and body temperature. Despite weighing only around 3 pounds, it uses a huge amount of the body's energy every single day. Heart. The heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood through the body without stopping. It sits slightly left of the chest and beats thousands of times each day, moving oxygen and nutrients to organs and tissues. Humans have studied the heartbeat for centuries because it has always been linked to life itself. Inside the heart are 4 chambers that work together in rhythm, pushing blood through arteries and receiving it back through veins. When the heart slows, braces, or becomes damaged, the entire body feels the effect almost immediately. Lungs. The lungs allow the body to breathe and exchange gases with the outside world. Located in the chest on either side of the heart, they expand and contract every moment of life. Oxygen enters through the nose or mouth, travels down the windpipe, and reaches tiny air sacs called alveoli. From there, oxygen enters the blood, while carbon dioxide leaves the body during exhalation. The lungs are soft and spongy, yet they handle an enormous amount of work every day. Air pollution, smoking, and disease can slowly damage them over time, making breathing harder and reducing oxygen flow throughout the body. Liver. The liver is one of the busiest organs in the human body. It sits on the upper right side of the abdomen and performs hundreds of different tasks. It filters toxins from the blood, stores energy from food, produces important proteins, and helps digest fats by creating bile. Unlike many organs, the liver has an unusual ability to regenerate itself after injury. Ancient cultures often believed the liver was tied to emotion and vitality because of how essential it is for survival. When the liver becomes overwhelmed by alcohol, disease, or infection, the body quickly struggles to maintain balance. Kidneys. The kidneys are 2 bean-shaped organs located near the lower back. Their main role is to filter waste and excess water from the blood, turning it into urine. Every day, enormous amounts of blood pass through them as they carefully balance salt, minerals, and fluid levels. The kidneys also help control blood pressure and produce hormones connected to red blood cell production. Even though people can survive with only 1 kidney, healthy kidneys quietly perform an incredible amount of work every hour without being noticed. Stomach. The stomach is a muscular sac that breaks down food after eating. It sits between the esophagus and the small intestine, mixing food with strong acids and digestive enzymes. The stomach lining is specially designed to survive these harsh chemicals, which would damage most other parts of the body. Digestion begins before food even reaches the stomach, but this organ plays a major role in turning meals into a form the body can absorb later. Hunger, stress, and even emotions can affect how the stomach behaves, which is why people often feel physical sensations there during anxiety or excitement. Small intestine. The small intestine is where most digestion and nutrient absorption happens. It is a long, folded tube that can stretch several meters when fully extended, though it fits tightly inside the abdomen. After food leaves the stomach, it enters the small intestine, where nutrients are pulled into the bloodstream. Tiny finger-like structures called villi increase the surface area, helping absorb vitamins, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates more efficiently. Without the small intestine, the body would struggle to gain energy from food, no matter how much a person eats. Large intestine. The large intestine handles the final stage of digestion. It absorbs water and salts from material the body no longer needs, slowly forming solid waste. Bacteria, living inside the large intestine, also play an important role in health by helping produce certain vitamins and supporting digestion. For a long time, people believed these bacteria were simply harmless passengers, but modern science now shows they influence immunity and even mood. The large intestine may seem less dramatic than other organs, yet it is deeply connected to overall health. Pancreas. The pancreas sits behind the stomach and helps with both digestion and blood sugar control. It releases digestive enzymes into the small intestine, while also producing hormones like insulin. Insulin allows sugar from food to enter cells and become energy. When the pancreas cannot produce enough insulin, diabetes can develop. Though small and often overlooked, the pancreas acts like a quiet manager, constantly adjusting the body's internal balance after every meal. Spleen. The spleen is located near the stomach, on the left side of the body. It filters blood, removes damaged red blood cells, and helps fight infection. The spleen also stores certain blood cells and releases them when needed. For centuries, people misunderstood its purpose, partly because life can continue without it. Even so, losing the spleen weakens part of the immune system, and increases the risk of certain infections. Its work often goes unnoticed because it functions silently in the background. Bladder. The bladder stores urine before it leaves the body. It is a flexible, muscular organ located in the pelvis, capable of stretching as it fills. Signals from the bladder travel to the brain, creating the feeling of needing to urinate. Once emptied, the bladder shrinks again and begins the cycle over. Although simple in appearance, it relies on careful coordination between muscles, nerves, and the brain to function properly. Skin. The skin is the largest organ in the human body. It covers and protects everything underneath, acting as a barrier against injury, bacteria, sunlight, and dehydration. Skin also helps regulate body temperature through sweat and blood flow. Different layers of skin serve different purposes, from producing new cells to sensing heat, pressure, and pain. Human skin changes constantly over time, healing itself after cuts and adapting to the environment. It is not just a covering, but an active and essential organ tied to survival and identity. Eyes. The eyes collect light and transform it into signals the brain can understand. Located within protective sockets in the skull, they work together to create depth and detail. Light enters through the cornea and pupil before reaching the retina at the back of the eye. The retina contains specialized cells that react to light and color, sending information to the brain through the optic nerve. Vision shapes how humans experience the world. Ears. The ears are responsible for both hearing and balance. Sound waves travel through the outer ear and vibrate tiny bones inside the middle ear before reaching the inner ear, where signals are sent to the brain. Deep inside are structures filled with fluid that help the body maintain balance and orientation. Because of this connection, ear problems can sometimes cause dizziness as well as hearing loss. The ear is a delicate system that constantly interprets movement and sound without conscious effort. Tongue. The tongue is a muscular organ that helps with taste, speech, and swallowing. Covered in tiny taste buds, it detects flavors like sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and savory. It also moves food around the mouth during chewing and shapes sounds during conversation. The tongue heals surprisingly fast compared to many body parts, which is why small bites or burns often disappear quickly. Though small, it plays a major role in communication and eating every single day. Bones. Bones form the framework of the body and protect important organs. The skull shields the brain. The ribs protect the heart and lungs, and the spine supports movement and posture. Bones are not lifeless structures, as many people once believed. They contain living tissue, blood vessels, and marrow that produces blood cells. Throughout life, bones constantly rebuild and repair themselves in response to stress and activity. Their strength allows the body to move, stand, and survive impacts from the outside world.